I'm Ken Keogh, co-founder of Keogh Marine Construction, and I'm going to walk through the process of after we've attained the permit for our clients, whether it's floating or stationary, how that process flows through. So if it's a floating structure and the permits and paperwork's in place, shop drawings are created and get dispatched to our shop. A critical part of this is having the inventory procured ahead of time. On our floating dock structure, the primary construction is all steel. This is a tried and true product that they've been using on the northern ice conditions for upwards of 50 years now. It has a great track record for year-round installation survival in heavy ice conditions. The whole product is constructed for minimum 3/16, and we're trying to achieve at least a 30-year server life on all products. So the raw material comes from the yard, it moves in the shop. It generally starts in the part fabrication, so all of the small parts are sheared, cut, and fabricated. The large tubes move into the production line. All the prefabricated parts get followed on the drawing and welded and secured in place onto the structure. When the welding and fabrication is complete, it moves through the assembly line down to the next department, which is the finishing department. And it can be finished in either pressure-treated cedar or composite products or many other finishing details. It either moves out into the yard, an area ready to be loaded and transported by land, or it gets launched in the water if it's going to be installed within towing distance of our facility here in Ivy Lee. One of our dedicated crews that are trained to do installations will either, if it's a back lake job, we'll transport it and launch it on one of the back lakes or the Rideau system or wherever else. Do the complete installation process with chains, anchors, or whatever the drawing requires for that site given the wind and wave conditions. Same process for the river, only it would be towed with tug and barge to its destination and installed throughout the river or Great Lakes. So if it's a stationary dock that we're constructing, once the engineer drawings are complete, they're dispatched to the shop. And we have a dedicated team of people that's all they do is fabricate structural steel for the stationary docks and boathouses. The raw materials are procured ahead of time, so they're in inventory ready for the process to start. They get moved into the fabrication shop. We do all the welding and fabricating, and as much of the woodwork gets bolted on as possible to the package of structural steel. So when it's complete, it's moved out in the yard and staged, ready to be loaded on a barge and transported to site. The next critical part of the process would be the piling system. All our docks are supported on pilings, either drilled into bedrock or pile driven to refusal. Our trained staff that have been doing this for many, many years assess each site and determine what's required. So they have drill rigs, pile drivers, everything equipped, and this crew, that's all they do is install the pilings. So when the pilings are complete, the second crew, the finishing crew, loads the structural steel, transports it to the site, and does all the site erection. Bolt steel welds to the pilings, pan deck if it's going to be concrete deck, and they leave it at that point ready for concrete, or if it's wood, they would do the finishing wood detail and the product is done. So if it requires concrete, that would be the final step. A barge will bring the concrete and do the finishing and the final cleanup. We have the option to do either a boat port on top of the foundation or a completely enclosed boathouse. Options are even sometimes an upper flat deck. And these can be equipped on, like I said, either the floating or the stationary structure, but these need to be planned out in advance so the foundation can be designed to support these loads. As you can see, whether it's floating or stationary, we've been working on this process for a long time. We've made it as efficient as possible. We enjoy working with our existing clients and look forward to working with new clients to build their waterfront.